How's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Twin Flame Tuesday. The fire is lit. Welcome, welcome, Metaphysical Mama. Welcome if it's your first time hanging out, and absolutely welcome back. Got the Judgment card. The spread of the primal fire, the last judgment. Oh, and the stars at the bottom. Like it says in the description, shit about to hit the fan. And literally, I don't know if anybody else is dealing with literal shit, but it did after I wrote that today. Not with myself. Oh, can you dig it? You really needed a shovel for that shit. Pun intended. So how's everybody doing? Just to introduce myself a tad. I'm Metaphysical Mama. This is a channel of metaphysics, so it's a little about everything and a lot about nothing. Start again. So we'll leave it at that for the energy. A couple things. I opened to Esther in the Bible. Also to Mark, what defiles a man, and a deaf mute healed. So Mark, it's it's 6 where the page starts. Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. But chapter 7, Saint Mark 6:49 is where the page starts. So we might get a little into that. We'll see. Or well, maybe we're. And also, I have this in like a bookmark. So that might mean something to you. All descendants killed in flood. Our common ancestor, himself, Enosh, like Enoch. Enosh is not Enoch. So subtle differences. So there's a lot of sly, like fox. You know, coyotes always want to be a wolf. Lots of wannabes walking around thinking they're entitled and have, like, you know, to have all this stuff and wear a crown and have it all and have it their way. 313. I don't know. Let's see. And also, I pulled out, I got the star came out in this deck too, and the mana, manga. How funny is a mana? And the manga deck. So I kind of got a few messages with this. So yeah, the star, 4 wands, 3 of pentacles, which is like a map. Either people trying to hunt for something or something we're about to receive that's rightfully ours to begin with. Both sides, there's parallels and lots of different, right, lines of perception and dimensions. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Like discovering, right, what's gonna make us happy, because others have, you know, been intervening, right? Like a intravenous, trying to be like trying to be Venus. And Aphrodite, and there's 2 Aphrodites. I just watched the movie Earth Girls Are Easy. I've never seen that before. King of Swords. So King of Swords is right next to the tower. So it's the star, 4 of wands, 3 of pentacles, tower, King of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, 7 of wands. So it's like the ego, right? Like again, again, like Earth girls are easy, or any of the jerk boyfriends that like want to have like all these extra extensions and extra hidden, right, side chicks and side relationships and actors. There's lots of masking going on, and also like lots of downloads are gonna. I'm gonna bring out. I got a lot of. So this shit, hold on, this shit is about to stop. King of Swords, like the little knight of like, oh, I'm like, and then they get really mad. Or act all like they don't know what we're talking about, or all busybodies all up in everybody's business, peering and seeking, and like they have nothing better to do than fuck around. So they put, it's like, right, a princess to sleep a long time ago, but they're all being watched. The Watchers. Yeah, I watched Adam and Eve. Noah the other day. I was sharing yesterday's video. I watched Noah over the weekend. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. The movie, if you haven't seen it, was very good, enlightening. Absolutely. You know, all knowledge is good knowledge. Doesn't matter what direction it comes from. If it's in tune and in the frequency with something that you need to hear to, right, gain missing pieces and have more clarity and transparency of what you're doing here, right? But yeah, the fallen ones, which are the Watchers, felt that for Adam and Eve, so they tried to help, and the Creator punished them, turned them into, right, like rock monsters, etc. So when others are, again, it says be very wary of those bearing gifts, or those that are like, I just need, and I just write begging and holding, and like, I don't know, codependent, emotionally immature, addictive, little brat bullies that have been fed way too long because people are either afraid of them because they get loud or demanding or they take things away. Let's walk away. Do not give them any attention or fucking energy. And just because we have to tolerate them and have patience and be around certain doesn't mean we're suckers and again and all that. So just allow. It's like don't let that, because what they want to do is get a rise out of you or put you in, right, the state of mind, in a fearful state of mind, confused, unsure. So you're more relying on, right, being codependent. I need to know because now I'm scared. Like, right. So then the feelings are going to be of anxiety and panic and worry and not sure if we'll be able to survive. Right. Prices get inflated. Why? If people aren't taking care of certain aspects of self, then, right, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. So spiritual dis-ease and emotional codependency and immaturity causes physical and mental illness and ailments and disease, right? Each emotion, again, in the body is connected to an organ within the vessel, in the physical vessel, right? So like football, I relate it to a sport. If we block, we're going to, right? So it's gonna grow. Something is gonna grow that, right? Whether we tend to it or not. It's like overgrown, right? Thorns, vines. If we continue to act out or carry a negative emotion or energy, it's going to affect, again, right, part of the physical vessel and can turn into what we call a name dis-ease. And we have all these, right, acronyms and mental illnesses and pills to take for and other things to try to figure out how we fix it. Deal with your shit. It's simple. It really, really is that simple. It's not, astrophysics, quantum physics. Everything's relative. It is relative to astrophysics. can absolutely right. It is, but you don't have to be an astrophysician to comprehend. I mean, baby, little ones get this. People, humans think, right? We think we know more, or we feel afraid, so then we build up a wall, or like a tower. We hide within our tower. Or, again, lots of people that, use love as a weapon, hold things over our head, take our loved ones. I watched Mommy Dearest over the weekend too. It's like that's what we're dealing with. The jealousy that's so subtle. They want love, so they adopt a child or they want to be attached to something, but they just need attention because they're feeling a lack of love. And the only way that they have that false perception of such, it's like a heroin addict. I've never done that, but I had one say to me once, and it's like, right, it just wasn't my bag of stuff, right? Not my 1111. Wasn't my thing, not my thing. But they, again, it comes from a very sadder dimension of birthing, and that dimension can bring, that's why is a heroin addict a heroin addict? Is better to question. What void are they looking to fill? And then what's being handed to them by the candy man and the red and blue pills? Munchausen syndrome, right? No, there's something wrong with you here. This will make you feel better. So, since you're not normal. No. What's not normal is not dealing with the whole deck, with the whole hand of cards you were dealt. You can't pretend some of those cards aren't in your hand. And you can't take someone else's, like Beetlejuice. They tried to take somebody else's number. Or what happened? The guy was like, yeah. He shrunk his head. 1212. And the word again, dead means unaware. So by killing other people, it's by keeping people asleep, keeping people stupid in a scared state of mind so that they're running around wearing diapers on their faces and getting injected with, Boston chicken turkey baster stuff. Sorry, I don't have, 327. That's my outlook on it. And again, a lot of people that have gotten basted are sick. It's like when you get right, people say like they never got sick till they got a flu shot because they inject you. So are there certain things that maybe are, but yeah, when the devil and Satan and Jezebels and incubus and succubus and all those that made some kind of oath in order to gain some kind of false control, want to try to take over and etc. And it's like, well, game over. We ain't got no more moves because there ain't no more board. Now you have to clean up the game and put it back in the box. That's why they say you can't take it with you when you go, right? The time is always now, right? They say money is the root of all evil. Money, best thing since sliced bread. Dope. Time to make the donuts before you go nuts. Where was money invented? China. Where'd they say the V came from? China. Where's the CRISPR? China. Not anything against them? No. I was like, how many other places are named the same thing that you have this right? Or Southeast Asia again, when others try to kind of like slide in because it sounds the same, similar. And sometimes do they have like, are they coming from a good place? Absolutely, but sometimes they're not. And unfortunately, they play on the fact that they know others that trust them will trust them, and they use that to their advantage, like any terrorist would. 1444, all up in the hood, ain't no good. So I don't know. Let it go. Let yourself go, girl. It was on the cover too, right? Squirrely, Sandy. slow and low, that is the tempo. And oh, and also, what was in my head before? Oh my God, it's a mirage. I keep trying to telling y'all it's sabotage. Big trouble in Little China. They were digging. They didn't know if they were digging for gold, digging to get to China, digging their own grave. They were digging somebody else's grave, like Doctor Sleep, like or monsters. Remember the movie Monsters with Sully and Mike the eyeball and all that. And they had to scare children, right? Same thing. It's like they've right. All these things have been out for a long time. Who are the children? And then who's the one scaring children? Because there's a lot of so-called adults running around acting like goats, meaning kids, not greatest of all time. They may think they are because they got like fancy cars and like they can go to the movies and take a plane and get on a train and like, say my name, say my name. Who made deals? That's a deal if I never heard one. You don't even know what's in that thing. Who made a deal with the devil? Who got marked? And it doesn't mean also, just to clarify, like again, when innocence is preyed on, it's like once you start to wake up and become aware, get the fuck out of there. It's just alkaline, clean your body, detox time, take care of yourself, rise your divine feminine, take care of you, right? Like the letter U is like a big cup, right? The universe is inside of you, like a big jump rope that goes around you, right? Your auric field. What are you filling it up with? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What are you allowing to take up time and space, rent time and space in your head, in your vessel? What are you injecting? What are you putting into your vessel? Our health is our wealth. Everybody running around saying they got to go do all. It's like, okay, well, that's cool and all. I'll be here waiting still, I guess. I don't know. Like you say you got your fill, right? I think this has to do with who we call Enlil. And they say Enki care more about humanity. Did he? Or is he a fisher of men trying to collect them? Casting nets, internet. When a fisherman stops catching fish, they work on their nets. No limit to how many nets you can cast. And what is casting? Like a magician, casting their spells, casting their wand, casting their fucking their pole. What are they? Fly fishing, Lord of the Flies. 333. They're pulling things out from one dimension into another, right? So is there, right? It's not like is that never, but when man thinks their will is to have dominion over any other person, place, or thing, animal, who's the animal? Who's acting on animalistic, savage behavior? Again, if you're in survival mode, you're dangerous because that means you're in a rampage. You're off balance. You're hungry. You're looking to feed, right? Like a zombie apocalypse, like Jekyll and Hyde when they turn into werewolf. That's like when people are drunk, right? But you don't have to drink in order to be drunk. People are drunk off of power, drunk off of illusion, drunk off of, right, fear. So these are sayings, words, terms of words, right? Terms of words we use, phrases, metaphors, and then they're also literary, right? Literal. And you gotta be able to be more open-minded and swim through the weeds. This is swampy, dirty, swampy water. I wish I could share the picture with you right before I came on. There was like the sky's blue right now, okay, today. It's fucking cold as shit out, nice and like clear, crisp air. But East Coast. And but there was these two like, chemtrails or planes or whatever must have made two different, one went up here like this and the other like it looked like a pyramid and the sun right in the middle. So I'll do a video. And yesterday I saw something about the atmosphere in Switzerland. It looked like hole punches in the clouds, which CERN is in Switzerland. There's more than one CERN, don't forget too. But CERN is in Switzerland. So it looks like there was holes punched in the clouds, which only appears if there's some kind of aircraft or what have you. And I didn't really get into the whole article that I was reading because too much stuff was going on at the time. I'll have to get back, look it back up, or you may want to look into that if that has any, spark of creates a spark. So yeah. Whoa. So let's see. And then also, so this is like, on the like, what's on the positive side. Like everybody is doing their work. It's like the star card is out. Things are coming into fruition, whether it seems like it or not, because we are swimming through shit, literal diarrhea. Everybody's had diarrhea of the mouth, diarrhea of, right, the mental state, right? Emotional baggage, like a big bag of diarrhea leaking out into the waters. This is what's poisoning the waters. I see. 336. Philosophies, huh? So when we're dirty, when we're thinking, we're coming from that feeling of lack, our feeling like our cup is empty, that we're, right? That's not love. That's lust and desire. And it's fear, which doesn't make most, again, most people have been operating off of that. The Piscean age has been an age of fear and tyrannical, right, of force. That's why we have police. We're still in martial law. We're still in the Cold War. We're still in the Dark Ages. We're still in World War I. When did it end? We only pay taxes if we're in war. War makes money. They have to make something up in that pyramid of power to have, again, there has to be a villain and a victim so they can create a hero or a savior. But if it doesn't work, then they play victim and they make somebody else look like the villain. And then maybe they want you to be the hero or the savior. So again, this is where the Watchers got in trouble, because when they play on others' emotions and innocence, that's coming into the innocence of men, the fallen ones, coming into the daughters of men, meaning coming into the ignorance, coming into the unawareness, unconsciousness, subconsciousness, stealing dreams, stealing love, right? Cupid and arrows, shooting arrows to make other, right? Mixing things up. Master magicians, not master twin flame alchemists of love and ascended masters. No, they just call themselves master, like Metallica, master of puppets. No, they call themselves the Lord, master. And maybe again, that's what was needed for all the tyrannical bitch asses that have been running around like little rapist fucks, not taking no for an answer. So then we needed to, I guess they're saying, right? That's what was needed in order to contain the devilish ones that have gone insane in the membrane. Right? They want to pick one. They want to pick one, and they want to pick me, bitch. And then they're gonna pick another one. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. What up, Soul Tribe? Welcome to hell. 339. Ain't that divine? And is not heaven a state of mind as well as hell as we walk upon this earth in our earthly physical vessel? I'm in a New York state of mind. Anybody else getting some New York, New York messages? I ain't that far, but all they keep echoing to me is it's rotten to the core. It's rotten to the core, like the apple, rotten to the core. Well, that doesn't mean New York itself. It just means it's been a big hub of Wall Street, right? Of stealing energy to bring light, right? Where other people need water, air, just like the trees, right? The underground network. We make sure, like, or when we, right? I'm about to light up. Puff, puff, pass. Oh, my lighter. Or my lighter. Oh, I only got this crazy one here. This is my lighter for my Palo Santo, my sage and stuff. Works much better than a regular lighter, but I don't particularly like to light my blunts with the with the torch. But I guess there's a reason for it. Kind of looks like it's a lighter. Oh boy. So okay, so on one dimension, this is what's going on. If you've been doing your work and stuff, we got the star, we have the Four of Wands, which is happy, happy. Again, you deserve this. Doesn't mean we're gonna feel like this all the time now, okay? However, we have more of an ability to deal with the shit because we've gone through it for so long, and we don't blame and we don't hold grudges and we don't carry resentment and go for vengeance in that manner. We just want to live and be free, but others have a problem with others being happy. So they just need a timeout. It's like rehab or anything else. When people have to, again, why is it right? Heroin addict, a heroin addict, or an addict and an alcoholic. Or and I'm talking about more people that actually use the right drugs and alcohol pills to right feel better. Right, it's coming from right feeling abandoned, not love. And there's many children that are children of Yaldabea, which is like again, there's so many things that we have unawareness of. It's really important that we carry compassion and just leave a little time and space because nobody feels so great right now. This is affecting all of us in all dimensions on all levels. And what's going to happen truly is things that we used to like and love, like what's been going on with the virus. This is all for a reason. Those extraterrestrials in the star system and your ancestors speaking to you, are you listening in your heart or do you keep listening to the media and the TV and what other people are flapping their gums, spitting out into the airwaves, right? It's airborne. And leaking poison into all the waters. Everything's water. But to be more fluid, time is also fluid. Time is the amniotic sac. It refers to the amniotic sac. Most people think of time as linear or cyclical, which it is, right? Also, we use time as a measurement in many different variations and ways. It's to measure, right? So we don't forget because we're a race of forgetful beings. So, instead of like having animosity and negative thoughts and feeling like you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, might be a nice idea to say thank you to Santa and God, like Satan and God, because you have to acknowledge the polar opposite, right? We have to acknowledge our light and our dark. Obviously, God has a dark side, which is Satan, right? Like, oh God, you devil. And the devil is kind of the variable that bounces in between the two polarities. Right? Like in Scarecrow, of course, you could go both ways, right? Sometimes we're like, and sometimes, it's like, oh, we just feel so good. We don't want to do like, I would never do that. And I just love everybody. And sometimes, right, it's like, do we mean it? Some motherfuckers do. But sometimes people get you so mad, you're like, oh, I feel like freaking killing them. Do we want to? No. And I don't generally say that. I'm just making an example. I don't generally use that term when I'm upset with anybody. I really don't. And I don't call people names. I may say you're acting like an asshole, you're being an asshole, right? You're being a motherfucker right now. Right? The behavior of the person sucks dick right now. And mine does a lot too, right? Especially when we're all trying to communicate, but we're like, bunk, bunk, and how come you don't let me? Right? We're trying so hard to tell people what we want, but then also once you get what you want, or once you clean, most like warrior or anything else, right? Half of their passion and purpose is the fight, is the challenge of the hunt or the fight. So if we're just like, here you go, they're like, okay, but that's not right. Like they're gonna, that's not, everybody has a different vibration. So there's different beings here that have different, right, needs of speed and needs to feed, different ways that we take in energy. And if we're so busy worrying about somebody else and what they have and what we don't have and blah, 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 we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing them a disservice. We're doing all of humanity a disservice and the whole collective, because we're not being where we need to be in our now moments in order to thrive. We're not trusting Holy Spirit and the divine and carrying faith and having trust. Everybody's too busy worried about if they were left to trust, or who's gonna leave them something, or where, what they're gonna get, or if somebody does pass, a whole family fights and breaks up over it, right? Like little vultures and scavengers. And also, how would anybody pass? These are ancient, 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 ancient. Like, what's the original sin? The word rib, right? Like rib, it, like frog, ribbit, ribbit. They made Eve from Adam's rib, which is a strand of DNA, like a hair, like a rabbit, a hair in between the yin and the yang. 3333. So if I cut something of myself out, or like Cthulhu, I cut my arm off for you. Careful to, like, that's an old thing, right? Like a man that was wanted, they'd cut off a hand or an arm so that they think that they were dead. But don't forget, an octopus grows back their arms. And they can camouflage and look like anything, right? Like blue avians. Blue avians, the blue, like Mystique, Palladians. Blue avians, Palladians. Oh, there's some discrepancies. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay, hold on. What the fuck? They're showing me like raveling, like when the woman on the train went wrapped up, tied up like in a spider web, woven like a web, spindle. That's also called netting, working on their web. right? Working on the web page. Ooh, little web cut, little web slut, little what? I don't know what they're saying. It's showing me right now. Okay, wait. Oh, Lord. And he says someone's tucking. Yo, I had wrote that down before. We have, like, you know, my cheesy dick, and please don't take this offensively, right? Because again, spirit and archons innate, you know, so if you take shit offensively, that's on you. You're a human being, and you know, I almost expect you to, not like, right? Because we get a fire burns in our belly when we get upset about something. That's why we do become so patriotic and willing to fight for something that we feel is right. But roads to hell are paved with the best intentions. So, so just saying. Okay, so anyhow, this is thing, lots of M words and mal cheesy dick, like malware, mal cheesy, like cheese whiz dick. Sorry, disgusting right now. Yeah. So someone, yeah, there's, yeah, Bill. Mhm. Malak, Maleficent, Mushrooms, Mirrors, Mothman, Prophecy, Moth Moon Goddess, Blue, Mystique, Mosquito, Male, Male, like MAIL and MALE, man, right? And blackmail. Now that doesn't mean, right? So blackmail is when somebody's, right, being blackmailed. So, but there's a lot of having to do with slavery and the S words, slavery, sex, sadistic, yeah, those that get off on watching others be harmed. Isn't that what M word too? I don't, machinistic or machinistic. And then talking about the will and death certificate. How was that made, invented, created? What were the stories? How was that ever, right? Taking others' free will by preying on innocence, but you should get on your knees and pray, right? Pray to the Lord, the law, which also is, right, of light bulbs. I have an idea. Let us make them in the image of how we think they should be, right? And don't we have an internet to do that too? So let's relate that also to that, because we can all make up, right, make web pages. And then a lot of our info has been taken, stolen, used in order to, others are profiting off of our information, our faces, our bodies, our movements, whatever have you. They're putting things together and like selling it on deep dark web and doing things in other places. So we're all aware of that. However, and wherever they're doing it all, you know, but it doesn't take much to copy the image of any fucking thing on the internet and go make a web page and sell it. And how the hell, like, would I or you know that they're doing that? Because they're obviously not going to use our real name. They're going to make up their own, but have it in the image of us, how they want, however, to be, or how they're making, right, so-called money. And then we're wondering why we're not hitting or doing, like, it's like, what is going on, right? Well, because someone's siphoning off the top constantly and from underneath the skirt. They got their hand up the skirt, one of those arms that got cut off, you know? Which also just makes replicas. That's like, right, the daughters and sons of Set. Which all good. It's just like the spoiled stepsisters from Cinderella, Anastasia and, right, Anastasia, put you to sleep, yeah, fucking with hypnosis, because they took something, right? They did it. They gave a lobotomy. So something that they loved the look of, that they wanted. They wanted it. It's so, right. So again, in order to have a problem, a health we have a problem here, Houston. Somebody had to take something that didn't belong to them and try to make something else. And now that can't run properly because it's only running off of a partial code. It's not proper code. And now the other being is lacking what they need. So we're in quite a predicament here. Is why it's good to wait and have some patience. It's like when we're young and they're like, we don't want you to have sex and we don't want you to, right? It's like wait until you, and I'm talking about actual two bodies getting together and having intercourse. But again, sex is sacred energy exchange. And when beings have already shit and pissed all over what's sacred, which means secret, private, not for everybody, like how, everything's on the internet. You could just go grab it and take it and use it however you want. Yeah, there's a reason Atlantis sunk and they can't find Lemuria, right? A mua mua, two cows, vaccine, baka baka, means cow. Look it up. You can change someone's mental state and DNA by changing their diet. So feeding massive amounts of cow hormones to all these species all these years and stuffing the physical vessel with sugar and all of this poison and etc. And then these, right, all this extra stuff with the mental and the emotional, and then, oh, there's something wrong, and here's a medicine, we got something for you, this will make you feel better, and here you can forget about them and look over here. All that, you got a lot of cleaning up to do. And growing up, but the good thing is you ain't got nothing but time. Most of them want to die. They made some kind of like murder suicide pact. They're gonna want to die. They're gonna wish they were dead, but that ain't gonna happen because there ain't no such thing. You're gonna deal with what you need to deal with and start cleaning the shit up. That's what Spirit said. That was like direct. They had me all like look into sorry. Ooh. Yeah. Let me lower you again. Woo. Yeah. So I don't like, it was like when I'm channeling too much information. Oh yeah, I look all cuckoo in my eyes. I need to be looking up into space like do 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 like a space nut. I am a space nut, but again, some things are private. They don't all need to be seen with the eyes. But the five senses can absolutely cloud our judgment, and make us think other things, or we do other things because we thought or felt blah, blah, blah. So that's why, again, it's important to slow down. Yalla haka. And if you look into the Numa Elish and ancient Sumerian texts, and apocryphas, which is how they got, right, like this book. Like a lot of beings, I mean, just to respect, right, this is your first book, but much came before this. And the stories that this come from are way more ancient. And before they were written on tablets, they were way more ancient than that, being passed through space and time, through light and sound and frequency, which then became verbalization, which is why the logos, the spirit, was with God. And then it became the word was with God, and God is the word. Or vibration creates form. So spirituality, physicality, material, emotional and mental, right, are Adam and Eve. And again, physical, right? So as Adam and Eve, right? Materials of Satan. So when we're, which we all use all these things, AI, alien technology, right? Or artificial intelligence. It's the same as virus, false information being, or bullshit. or false information appearing, right? False evidence appearing real, which is what causes fear, which breeds dis-ease. If we're at an imbalance in any manner, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, it's going to create imbalance in the system. We're at imbalance. We're lacking a tool or something that we need in order to have balance, right? But it's not no better or worse. It's like, right, if, like for me, I'm more like metaphysics and spirit and da da da, while many others are more physical, material, etc. Excuse me 1 second. Hold on. Right. Yeah. Okay. 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 Sorry, man. Tug, 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 tug. Yeah. But there's also patience. But yeah, tug, tug, tug. And then they wait in the waiting room and then they just wait for you. So, right, we're just, this is like on levels a lot of us are dealing with. So I share because I care. And again, this is on a collective scale. The ripples go through all the waters. None of us are exempt. This is when people are like, oh, we're going to go here and we're going to do this and we're going to do this and make all these, and you keep trying to make all these gambles and debts and bets and ultimatums and threats and stuff, like, right, stuffing, like Tom the turkey, lots of stuffing, lots of air, right? What's the US debt system based off of? What is the US dollar backed by? Ever try to keep water in your hand? They say sands of time. As above, so below. Heavenly is like the blue sky, Anu. The horizon, right? The horizon, too. And then we have set, which also represent, right? Cthulhu. Where is he, right? The sleeping one. But others messing with, right? It's like when you, it's like going to wake up a bear that's in hibernation, or being a grave robber, a tomb raider, things of that nature. Taking things that definitely don't belong to you, an egg thief, manipulating things for in order to serve oneself, and then make it look like, right? Ooh, the call of the night. Oh, daring, adventure, excitement. Ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you really ready for it? Are you really ready for it? Are you ready for the king? of rock of resurrection. Oh no, that's crazy as cap. Reprise, recovery, comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. And those that have been fucking around with black magic and other people's lives, children, love, timelines, energy, bodies, in any manner, spiritual, emotional, fucking physical, sexual, etheric, astral. If you're messing around, you're messing around. And it's about to get real sticky where you're at. That's why they say, careful what you do and only treat others how you would like to be treated, because everything you do comes back to you. Stalked, invaded, watched. Lots of motherfuckers been doing that shit like my whole life. Y'all know who you are. I don't know even who you are, nor do I really honestly give a flying fuck. Yeah. That's how much I care about that. I do care that you get the help you need. You know, we leave you with love and forgiveness and everything you need to heal and find yourselves and figure yourselves out. So you're not relying on taking it from somebody else and harming others and calling it clout. Doses! We about to be out. Outsider. Misfit, loner, wanderer. There's also something called a wandering uterus. That would kind of represent also Cthulhu. And don't forget, Cthulhu could be a man, a woman, a cat, a fish, an octopus, which it is, or any other motherfucking thing. They're master magicians, like Houdini, right? An octopus can get through a hole the size of a quarter, just like a mouse. So know that there's witnesses, though, because there always is mice around. It's like, right, who's bigger, mice or men? So the nets that they cast, the mice bite right through them, just like Cinderella, right? Cinderella, Cinderella, she had guts. To know personal evidence, to speak out, let there be light, transparency, and let everyone get what they need, right? What they deserve, what they're worth. Supernatural. That's how God works. The energy you put out is what you get back. You don't get to be like, "Ooh, I wanted that." That's great, but you gotta work for that. And yeah, you'll have like amazing things too. Hopefully, we all will, right? We all will. Relax, boo boo. Like, allow, let some time and space, right, for breathing to come on through and then see where you're at. You might feel much better than that. And then you're not feeling like you got to go make a deal and you got to go run and hide because you decided to be a fucking betraying little bitch ass motherfucker and betray everybody that you say you love. And now you feel like shit inside. So get over it. Deal with that shit. You didn't care about fucking dishing it out. Don't try playing victim and crying wolf now, town criers. Oh, fuck out of here. That's again, it's like that saying keeps coming up, right? Do you feel uncomfortable? Good, good, good. Learn how to deal with that feeling. It's important. Otherwise, we have spoiled little brats and assholes that want to cause war for no reason other than that. And that's a motherfucking fact. inexplicable, miraculous, otherworldly, 39, 9, which is 12, which is 3. And what's today? December, today is 3rd or the 4th? I think I wrote it down on there. January 4th, 10. So today's a day 5, 2022. Now we're in a 4-year, and 4 is foundation, right? Or, right, 2, meaning there was 1, and the atoms on that side were split into 2, right? Positive and negative, opposite directions, and then they come back together, right? Sign of the cross, applesauce, big bang. But that came from where, right? The divine womb, or the supreme universal consciousness, right? Where before one has awareness, right? It's like where our origin, or where you need to find your roots, where your ancestors, your descendants of ancestors of, right, the creator. So finding your place in the stars, your place in the void, where you're able to strip yourself of nothing, with no name, with no label, where you're just, right, this is where we become again pure. It's like going through our closet, cleaning out our shit, cleaning out our room, cleaning out our locker, cleaning out your, right, whatever, car, however you want to, right, your junk in your trunk, the emotional baggage, right, your luggage, anything that's building up, your mail, piles of mail, whatever. Relate to it and get the fuck rid of it. We want to make space and room, not keep reaching for, wanting more, and saying, well, then I can't. Well, who's the fucking, like, wow, spoiled rats. Who the fuck raised you all like that? As sports well. And I don't even give a fuck if you want to blame the people that you say raised you, because who raised them? Have you ever taken that into consideration? Or are you walking around mad? Are you big mad because you didn't get treated how you wanted to be treated? So now you're a little fucking bitch. Mm-hmm. That is what a dog is called, right? A bitch. Which backwards, if we spell the word dog, what does that spell? Say. But now who's the bitch? Shit. Oh, I'll shoot myself in the foot for that one. Bang, bang. Big bang, bang, bang. That was raunchy, spirit. But anyhow, this is how we do here, though. We don't really, again, judgment-free zone. So we go through the light, the dark, the shadows, the swamps, the nasty fucking crevices where there's shit stuck in. It doesn't matter, because everything is getting accounted for, cleared, and cleaned, right? This is like the master cleanse, master reboot. And whoever's running around in someone else's shoes or boots, the shoes, it's got to be the shoes. Their feet may get kind of hot. There's a story in Grimm's fairy tales about that shit, like it or not. So it's like only wear the shoes that fit you. And that's a hypothetical term, of course, as well as also, right? But it also means, right, don't get too big for your britches, or, don't think somebody else has it so much greater and better just because it looks that way from maybe where you're standing, or we've only seen, right, 414, or you've only seen we, you, whoever, right? We've only seen bits and pieces. So it makes it look really great, right? It's like a commercial, right? Look at all the commercials for like any kind of medication. They're like skipping through fields of flowers, and they're talking about like your body may shut down, you may end up with heart disease, you may have like bleeding ulcers, may have massive diarrhea, may cause strokes, may cause different kinds of cancer and tumors, you know, but they make all this happy picture horse shit. Get back to your life. What? And people are like, really, I feel better. Do you know what that does to your body though? And then the next generations that have come after you, everybody that's been relying on the material. I had somebody ask me the other day, say like, or just say, you know, we're just talking, conversing, and mad respect and love for, right? Like again, this is just like we're everybody's going through. Also, it's important we go through these negative thoughts and feelings like, well, what about this? Or how come, right? Question fucking everything. If you don't, then you're just going to be fed whatever narrative is prescribed to be dished out, right, unto the people. And if we, the people, don't take responsibility and accountability for going through, you know, if you're only judging a book by its cover, right? Won't be judging me because my braids ain't like, you know, because I slept in them and didn't redo them for you. Right? But when we see things, we judge them. We're like, oh, right? Like, or right, when we have makeup, they're like, oh, they look so nice today, or they look so pretty, or they look great, or oh, they look tired, they look like shit, right? We do that as people. A lot of time we don't mean to. We're not meaning to be mean. We just unconsciously are like, right? It's like sleigh riding. It's like we just go over that bump. We're like, boop, oh, boop, boop. And that bump was a body, and we're like, oh, ha, 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 ha. We're so unconsciously aware. You know what I'm saying? And careful. Lots of motherfuckers just used Nair. Man, so they look human. And again, human is what? And when did human get here? And if you break that word down, because I work with etymology a lot, right? It's the vibration of the sound of where words originated from. I just totally got, you know, speaking of getting bumped off. Time out, time out. Keep it off my wave. I got knocked right off my wave there. Fell right off my surfboard. Surfboard. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I hope you are having fun, as well as, right, learning and picking up some great little tidbits along the way, because it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It just has to be in vibration with your frequency, right? Like in tune. Like, do you feel like listening to that right now? Like, you know what you feel like eating or listening to or watching, or if you want silence. It's like, right, sometimes we feel like different colors of the rainbow, so to speak, right? We have different moods, right? Different ways, right? Which in we operate, we're not always the same. This is also what makes us, right, multi-dimensional. It's like, right, we operate in many different frequencies. We don't always feel the same way, right? That's why a lot of these words and metaphysical terms and like, right, super scientific, a lot of the words and terms really aren't that difficult to comprehend and understand if you just allow it to resonate within. And whatever doesn't, it's just like kind of like, yeah, I do feel like eating that, or yeah, or I feel like wearing that today, or I don't. It doesn't have to be any more of a big deal than that. Either, right, it is or it isn't. It's not like, oh, it's right or it's wrong. It's like, does it feel right? Does it feel like you want to go to the movies, you want to go to a concert, you want to just chill at home. You know what you want to do, right? It's like that. So can you see that? You have to feel that, right? You're in tune with what, like, you feel like it or you don't, right? So that's the same with having discernment and where truth resonates, which is right here, right? It's like the sign of the cross or our internal compass, right? So when something, like when you're treading water and you're swimming, right? It's like right where we get that buoyancy point, right? It's like, whoop, then we're right, we can have our head above water and we're still. So there's this point right here. And why? Because our saltwater body's under here, right? We have, it's like the desert, sand, etc., right? Air. And then of course we also have different fluid in there. This shouldn't be salty, but a lot of, right, we call wet brain saturated with, right, liquor. And that could just be, again, alcoholism is a behaviorism. So being dead means, right, like not having both hemispheres of the brain lit up, right? We want to have balance with both hemispheres. You know, something simple to try, like, right, try to eat with your other hand once in a while, or try to brush your teeth with the, you know, your opposite hand. If you're right-handed, you know, use the left, or vice versa. Little things, just to kind of ignite, right, a little spark to gain some perception of, right, and then create balance within the mental faculties and also the emotional, spiritual, etc. body. It's like we don't only want one half working, which humanism, right, have. We want to allow, and the brain's just like a sponge, but we want to allow both sides to be able to, right, conduct electricity, have synapses going off. You don't want to have like a have dead brain, right? Zombie brain. But we start off that way. Most start off that way, right? It's like, so whichever way we're all lacking or missing pieces, right? Lacquerhead. Which is also where we, right, have positive, it's like Star Wars, positive, negative thoughts that come out and the variable that swings in between. So slowing down these things is tricky. However, it's like there's stories and things to relate to, right? Like how Athena was born out of, say, Zeus, right? She came the wisdom out of his head, right? So instead of getting stuck in duality this way or that, like one flew over to cuckoo's nest, being stuck in, right, insane in a membrane. Worst thing is to be stuck in your head, right? The difference between the brain and the mind, right? Think about that. Is there a difference? Or 22. Oh, time goes. Hey, boo boo. Flashlight. So the brain is an organ in the physical vessel, right? It's like again, a sponge. So it's constantly absorbing, right? Like SpongeBob SquarePants. So we don't want we don't want wet brain, meaning like liquor brain. We don't want our brain to be insane, like, right, poisoned. Mercury's poisonous, right? So too much clearing, that's what we're clearing. Fifth element. I was in that, actually that's in the description too, so that's why it's coming up too, because emotional body and Mars, right, of blood travels up through our vessel, right? So blood is iron and magnetic and it flows upwards, right? Lightning comes up from under the ground, right? Thor or Mars, right? Like, or like Orion, like warrior. So of course it comes up and then bam, down like lightning, right? Zeus. So, but that get right, and also, and everything had to be perfect in order to, otherwise, imagine if everything wasn't added, right? The universal father's mathematic. So, if things weren't precise in that manner, you know, way different than like Neptune and going with the flow and like just let it go. And it's like, I can't let it go. I need a fucking number, ass fucking hole, right? It's like, wait. I need the fucking points. I need to know how to get from, right, A to B, which also is reptilian or secular thinking, linear, right, masculine. It's the only way it had to be between positive and negative in order to form everything that we see. Otherwise, we'd be like, we'd all be like Cthulhu-y, right? Like Ivan the Boneless, like big skin bags. Just, we wouldn't be what we are right now, right? So now we're connecting, right? Spirit and matter and physical and emotional and mental and intuitive, right? With our gut and our crown, which is part of what the virus is too, right? The solar plexus and the crown chakra, the virus of right gut. All dis-ease comes from the gut, or the term, right? All lust comes from the gut, all desire. So if we're, it's like a fish, like, or the umbilical cord, right? So we're being pulled like from, feel like that feels like we're constantly hooked, right? Jesus is a fisher of men. And how many Jesuses are there? Jesus, how many different ways are there to say and perceive those words too? So it's like, hey, hold on. And J is silent, but there's a hook. Captain Hook. Bunch of crooks. So, you know, gotta be playful. Mhm. And two, if we're afraid of, say, other, okay, because there's a lot of ancient races here, star beings, etc. If you're afraid of them, it's like anything else. It's like if we go to pet an animal and then all of a sudden we become afraid, that animal is going to become afraid too and be like, wah! Or do maybe attack us or something, right? It's reacting to our, if we're, and most, you know, again, man has worked off, right, the human the dominion, and I, right, marg meat and whatever, yeah, right. And so, and we all have come out of that. It's like we've all eaten, a lot of our diets have probably changed. If we take a look at that, it's like we're all like, I'm a man eater. We're all like, oh, I love chicken and ribs and burgers. And then all of a sudden, someday, sometime, it's like, oh, I used to love that shit and I cannot eat that anymore. Or certain things, you know, it depends, right? It's like, you know, because I'm not total vegetarian right now, but there's a lot of things, yeah, I can't, won't, or like, it's just like, yeah, it's totally not in my, it ain't in my code anymore. So I'm not judging it like, ew. It makes me feel like ill though. So I may react sometimes like ill and not be able to, you know, like, meh. Kind of makes your toes curl. Once, you know, it's like once you see, you can't unsee certain things, right? So certain things that maybe weren't a big deal before because we were unconscious. So again, it doesn't make us bad. Well, if we're unaware, we're unaware. But use caution with the ones that act like they weren't aware, right? Actors acting aloof, like, oh wait, huh? Or what do you mean? Or oh, I gotta go, whatever, you know, distraction, or just they play stupid. Or then they cry, they want attention. So there's a lot of different plays that they use, right? Like football coach, right? Like, oh, we're gonna use this play, right? Same ones that loved the gladiators back in the day. Yeah, I love those men in tights. Betting on their boys. Again, mad kudos. I don't know. Again, I didn't look up the story yet. Why Antonio, is it Brown or Bruno? I think it was Antonio Brown. Buccaneers. He ain't on the Buccaneers anymore. Fucking kudos to you, dude. He's now free, right? He's like, yeah, after you, like, so what? Nothing for nothing, but he didn't. He lied about getting the vaccine, I guess. You know, dude's a football player. He wanted to play, right? You know, there's a thing called, right, for there's, right, our amendments. Things that people say that they pay their taxes to follow the rules of, right, of this guy, but they just make them up along their way and change them, and they don't, right, like they don't even, yeah, they do something for that makes no logical sense with this extreme thing, and then they don't, right, give what they anywhere near what they take. And they take a lot. And they use, right, in the name of, so again, ancestors, etc., are pissed the fuck off. Y'all could feel it. That rumbling inside, that shit's real. That's the inner earth. Freaking like, why is there so many things happening on the earth? Right? We're going through a huge shift. That's why it's so important. It's like a big snowstorm between Virginia and Maryland, and a lot of cars were stuck out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's horrific, right? And then the first thing I said to my husband, talking to somebody earlier today, and they're like, well, what the fuck were they all doing out on the road? It's like, good point. Exactly. And I didn't even think that or go there because I just quickly saw it and I was like, oh, I felt bad for a hot second. But it's like, yeah, if you know that that's like, yeah, like, right, but the need to want to be wherever it is that you think you have to be and etc. is more important. So then see, I guess now we see, because Mother Nature ain't fucking around. She's like, oh, you thought you needed to be there? Well, now you're gonna get stuck and sit right the fuck here. I don't know. I don't know what. And there was a lot of, right, Virginia and Maryland there, a lot of history, lots of stuff connected to those 2 points of land. So I don't know. Who knows? So I do feel bad for anybody that, like, I hope everybody was okay. I'm sure that was cold as motherfucking shit. And that shit sucks. I was gonna say I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I don't make wishes and I don't do that. Like, oh, I hope or I wish you that. I don't do that. Like, whether good or I just send love and like, I'll operate that way. And that can sound like spiritually snobby, but again, it's not. It's not. because those words, again, once we see something, you can't, like, right, you can never go back. You can't unsee, right, like, it's like, oh no, that's imprinted there now. It's for something. It's like, oh, I really wish I had that magic, or Mr. Clean, like my freaking my eyes. But getting through the shit. We just deal with it. I lost my poor meatball. Oh boy. So okay, yeah. So what the fuck was I saying? So the fruckin' what else do you want me to share, Spirit? Oh, Legion. Yeah, the lobotomy, Legion, the forgetfulness. Yeah, taking away the things that we wish that we didn't have to see. But again, a lot of others, that's like MK Ultra, and there's been a lot of mind control technology, or just frequency, or again, just fear by putting out prescript, right? Here's a prescription. Prescripted narratives, which pharmacadia and media, right, work hand in hand. Big pharma and, right, and Monsanto, right? The moon, Saturn, moon and Santa, moon, Saturn, which is also again a projection screen, and like aurora borealis, and then coming through the moon, the big silver screen. And then there's other shit going on over there too. Canals to cow. Oh. Oh, also, this card came out. And they're guiding me to show you this. Because this is representing a motherfucking bitch. A bitch that pretty much tied up some shit and is sitting in somebody else's place with shit all over their face. So yeah, clone doppelgangers. Again, others that are trying to, right, use the image of others, whether that's by voice, by physical attributes, digitally, right, written, whatever form that may be, spiritually or physically, right? Ain't none of them gonna, yeah, hold up any substance to any of, right, my tribe or me, but there's gonna be like big, like, you know, Batman when they shine those big lights up in the sky, those big fog lights. Flash lights. Those like motherfucking bitches that have been using shit. See the black and white candle background there? So using the atoms, again, it's going to CERN punching holes in the clouds using, right? Yeah, skull, the crystal skull, crystals, yeah, ancient technology, etc. Ooh, I'm getting hot. Yeah, I don't know. Your ancestors are about to deal with you. That's what they are letting me, yeah, relay to you. So yeah, get ready, boo boos. Get your popcorn ready. Coming to a theater near you. Every action has an equal or opposite reaction. So what you do come back to you in one way or another. And we don't hold vengeance and like all that stuff. So we're not doing shit except really drinking tea, pinkies up, and passing the messages through. And those who have a problem with that, that'll show too. Because they don't have a little fire in their pants and their shoes, right? They're jumping all over like little popcorn, or they're like sitting and stewing and wondering what to do. It's like just actually like, what should you do? Like, I dare you to tell the truth, and nobody else want to hear it, right? Do it for yourself inside, and then you'll know what you need to do next, so you don't have to feel like you're going to run and hide and tell all of us different stories and try to act like, right, you're the one with all the glory. I don't, whatever. It's like we're all awesome, we're all shitty, we all have a whole bunch of shit we got to go through. It's not about like all this status stuff. It's like, and that's really sad that that's what the world has been pretty much, you know, based like, right, we're in a 4 year for foundation. The basis and the foundation of, right, is built upon the feelings of lack. So the wolf ain't bad, but the wolf is about to huff and puff. And if you don't have a sturdy structure, as the emperor's new clothes, the light's gonna shine on you and you're gonna be naked in the garden, naked and afraid, which is real different than being, right, natural and raw. Way different. Way different allowing fruit to develop off of a tree, and when a tree gives you the fruit, right, to be taken gracefully, than uprooting a plant. That's like, shall we pull, like, yeah, it's pulling my, it's like pulling my hair, pulling my, like, hello, would you like that done to you? If something grew, then, right, it's like, then Gaia and Mother Earth and everything is like, woohoo! And that plant that, right, is mixed with so many elements and what have you, right? It's like, ooh, growing toward the sun is a happy one. Right, there's like, and again, there's difference between like, right, again, discernment. So there are certain things that do need to be moved, right? They're crowded, their roots are crowded, it wasn't the right place, right? Again, plants have consciousness, so does everything. I don't know about like plastic, but I'm sure it's, I mean, I don't, you know, if it does, it's like very, but I'm sure it has some, yeah, it would develop something at some point and was recycled throughout so much time. Now I'm getting real multi warpy. Anyhow, but right, yeah, everything has consciousness. So positive and negative, if you write like a Polaroid picture, If we think of things a little more like that, and good, bad, or oh my God, or right, ugly, or right, wrong, left, right, all this, right? It's like learning how to slow down and remembering to breathe. A lot of these stories are written in the media, right, by the state cabal and there's all names of right other like places that like other that have right like state control, but it's like anything in a school. There's a principal, there's teachers, and then there's the kids. In college, sometimes the children are adults, right? So we're still all adult children. We're always teachers and students, right? But and sometimes we're on an authoritative level, and sometimes we're like we're the ones like, right, we're here to just sit and listen. Like a child, like, right, humble, lower oneself down, right? There's terms for these words. So we're not, and you don't want to always feel either like you have to come from above or below. That's like to come right from where we have that sacred energy exchange, right? Acronym for sex. And there's not any debts and nobody gets upset. People get upset if they have an expectation. When we have an expectation, we get upset if our expectation what didn't turn out how we would have liked, right? Or we have what was the other word I was just singing? Well, expectation, or again, yeah, feelings of like envy, jealousy, lack, coming from a very empty cup is half empty instead of half full. Looking for somebody like, hey, sir, can you fill my cup? I don't know what to do. None of us know what to do. But when we're present in our now moments, we really truly are given what we need, 441, right? So then we're able to give and receive and not feel any type of negative way. Because we're not worried about, some contract we just made, or what he said, or what she said, or what we said. It's like, damn, why did I just say yes to that? And I can't even do that now tomorrow. I got caught off guard and right? So we entangle ourselves because we are good and we want to help and we do have passion and we want to be and we don't want to disappoint and everybody wants to be liked and loved and accepted. But first we have to do that for ourselves. And for a long time, it's like we really did do everything we needed to do. So now it's learning to let go, relax, breathe, which is the hardest thing to do. Let go of worry. It's so important to have, right? There's a reason for it, a gut instinct, So it's like, okay, but then you need to be able to tap in and have discern. Do I need to worry, or am I just having a negative thought and a feeling and I just let myself go a little, right? So we got, right, bring it back home. Like baseball, you throw the ball, somebody hits the ball, you got to throw the fucking ball back to home plate, right? Everything goes back home or back in the box or back, right? Back to its natural state of origin. It always goes back to, so it's important to have, right, it's like to bounce that ball around. That's what we do have control of. Let that variable bounce around, right? That's like our sun, the variable. It could be good, or it could get like nasty out there, right? That's Cain and like Eve bouncing around. Abel, like positive, negative feeling, whoop, outside the garden. What leaked out of us that we need to bring back, that ball that we, right? That piece that needs to come back home. However, right, you interpret that, right? Adam's and Eve's, again, Eve's represent emotion, right? Adam is supposed to have, right, dominion over Eve. That means my mental state, right, mind over matter, my masculine intellect can't allow my emotions to overtake me. I have to keep them at bay, at my side, my emotional body, while allowing my positive and negative, right, thoughts and feelings to develop and kind of be in a flow, right? It's like if you're taking a picture, right? It's just is what it is. And sometimes we don't need to know. We just need to let go, right? So on that note, Yeah, just to share this too quick. The other level, oh, and seduction. Seduction, allure, desire, manipulation. That could be a threat. That could be sexy. That could be, again, too. And back in it, people were so bored. What they feed off of? You're going to do that, or I'll say whatever. So there's excitement. It's like a drug. If you've been, right, like being used as like a, right, like an animal. So, of course, they're going to be enticed by seduction. If that's the only something that's mimicking, like again, heroin, mimicking the feeling of love or something feeling good, right? Copycatting. While others are catfishing, you know those terms, right? CCs, double C's, religion, canon, rules, commandments, which can then again make people feel guilty and what have you. But don't forget, before Christianity was many things. So again, lots of, it's not that anything's like great. Again, I'm not knocking anything about before, after, what have you. It's about like if you're gonna open your egg or you're gonna like right get untangled from the weeds or be born like right a tadpole hatching. It's just allowing right yourself to flow through the jet stream. It's just being right reborn, resurrection. So we let go what no longer serves us and we move forward. And we don't know, right? What's on the other side of that mirror? What's right? It's like, right, I'm a shedding king snake, right? A snake sheds its skin. A butterfly became a butterfly, but it was a caterpillar before, right, crawling around, no wings, little furry thing. And then it gets carried by ants underground, like, it looks like they're stealing it. And they, right, I think, do they wrap it and cocoon it? Or does the caterpillar do that itself? I have to look that story up. It's a really, like, very sweet. But that could look very scary, right? It almost looks like the caterpillar commits suicide and jumps off a leaf. And, like, then all these ants come and they get the caterpillar and they carry it down into their ant holes. And do you know that they care for the caterpillar? Or is it 22 months, I believe? I think it may be 22 months. And they totally nurse it, and like the nurse ants and all that are like, right? They totally take it, all precedence goes to the caterpillar. And then the caterpillar one day comes out of the chrysalis and is like, peace out, and just flies away. So now other caterpillars may be mad, right? Because now that caterpillar turned into a butterfly and now she just flew out and she's so excited to share with all of them what's going to happen to them. And maybe don't be afraid of the ant people. Because they may look scary, like they're taking you underground, right? Like to the halls of Amenti, like the halls of Osiris, funeral rites. Right? But you're Anubis getting judged on the scales. This is old, and what have you. And even before that, before Egyptian, way before Egyptian, especially north and south Egyptian and like Kemet, there's right, they're ancient Egyptian. Again, no, because time is fluid. So it's like if we're coming from this way and others are coming from the other direction, right? That's why it's like, oh, okay, we missed each other a couple, and it's like, oh, and then we come this way, it's like, oh, and now it's like, oh wait, here, oh snap. Here we are. Where is Pumpkin? Where is that song? Here I am. Here I am. I have daughters, and I taught a little bit of nursery school. And we say, "How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away." And you go through all the fingers. So And if we only are operating in our human senses, the five senses, it's like only using one finger on one hand all the time. And how much can we do with this? You know? So we want to think expansion, allowance for movement and flow. And how about we don't need to know? We don't need to know which way to go. We don't have to know the answer. What we need to see will be given to us, right? Naturally. And the more you say that to yourself, and right, you'll start to see more synchronicities and more things coincide, right? Run parallel along with your life. So it may, and it's going to get scary. It gets scary because we don't know. And it's like, and other people are still freaking out. So it's like all these tests, it's like, right? Shock and awe, a lot of Saturn and Uranium and it's like volcanic explosions. And like, right, look at all the different things that again are going on. So but it's important when atoms, right, are right, there's these nuclear explosions, atomic nuclear explosions going on within our vessel. Right, we have all these little atoms floating around, like right, we're considered a man, a big atom, right? All these words are to right, we're man, we're human, hues of man, right? And then inside of everything's made of atoms. So we have all these little atoms, right, inside our body. So as we're going through this, right, chrysalis, right, caterpillar time, before, right, to resurrection, where we're gaining our wings to turn into, right, butterflies, right, angels, demons, right, both have wings, birds, dragons, etc., any kind of thing that can, right, fly, so to speak. Right, like gaining our pilot license or our right our license to drive, our vamana. But in order to do that, we have to deal with what's inside. And some of it's going to be like, oh, no problem. And some of it's going to be like, ah, and not feel good and right and be irritating and right like, right. And it can cause again distress and not feeling well, which is then we're being tested to rise our divine feminine. Are we nurturing ourselves? Are we learning how to create a boundary? Right? It's like if you're sick when you're little, your caretaker, your mom, whoever nurtures you, right? Your nanny, whoever may have brought, rose you, right? It's like, oh no, they're not going to school. They don't feel good today. Or no, they can't play. They don't feel, they'll step right in. So are they all mean because they now taken over? Or a nurse, it's like, oh no, no, no. They need rest. My mom just had a baby. No, she needs to rest right now. Right. So divine feminine is like, whoa, whoa. Baby needs to rest. The end. We don't give a fuck about your job or what you're about to lose. Figure it out. Masculine intellectual. Are you gonna get all hot-headed and right? Rah, get out of here. Right? So when people don't respect when someone needs to rest to feel better, and that could again be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all are very important. That's what creates our physical body, right? How we don't have shit if we don't have what we need. Our health is our wealth. If we don't have those pieces that we need in order to create a more balanced environment, nurture ourselves inside and out, not expect, right? We need a mommy's boot. Everybody's, it's like puppies searching for nipples. It's like, stop. Can you pause? Because guaranteed, whatever contract you didn't read the clause. Speaking of which, oh, we got also redemption, as in reverse, upstart, tumult, revolution, and 33. It's like, yeah, because there ain't going to be no rebellion. There ain't no rebellion. One at war with oneself is a tower. It's a tower that's going to fall. So if someone's fighting against themselves, and what's going to happen? It's, you know, if you're not working on create again, right, coming to a clear, more clear, balanced place, nobody expects anybody to be perfect or anywhere near it. We're all perfectly imperfect. That's the beauty of it. Again, right? Like you see my messy braids. It's like it's like because I don't give a fuck. It's like I know how I can, right? It's like if I want to do my hair nice and put makeup on, yeah, I can do that too. I do that when I feel like it, right? So I'm not worried about it. You know, a lot of time too, again, things make me uncomfortable now. So it's like makes my eyes itch. I'm like, I shouldn't even put that shit on my face. So sometimes I just can't deal with it. And I just, yeah, so I don't care. I don't care. So yeah, you know, not everything is about appearance. And when things appear to look so great and flashy and perfect and wonderful, well, you all know you've been out on like, you know, I was always working at the clubs and in the like bartender and in the restaurant business and whatever. So, and not like, you know, but yeah. So I'm always been there. But I wasn't ever really one to like, right, like, I grew up a little weird, so I wasn't really on like the different scenes, right? We had a different way, you know. I wasn't on the dating scene like that, in that way. I don't know how to say that. Whatever. So what was my fucking point? Yeah, dating scene, difference in being, right? Oh, I don't know what the hell I was saying. It's a nice sunset, which just totally distracted me. It's like peachy pink sherbet out there. Oh, and there's like the coolest sliver of the moon. Here, I'm gonna take you out and can you see? Hope you can see the moon. So pretty. So pretty. Yeah, and about not appearance. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. So right, yeah, well, sky looks blue. Is the sky blue or is it the reflection bouncing off the water, which we call, right, a new light blue? Right, noon and midnight are different than right, east and west, or well, north and south. They operate what north and south, and they mess the whole compass up. Right, true north here, but west that way. Like, wait a second. I've shared this before. It's like, because somebody had to share with me before, never eat shredded wheat. I'm like, I have to still do that. I'm like, never eat shredded wheat. Because I'm like, that's so. I don't think I come from that direction. It's like, I think I'm half cocked to the left. A little past 5 or before, depending on which way you're coming from. All right, anyhow. So yeah, not giving a fuck so much because we all have amazing things that are about to blossom inside, and use that negative energy, use that shit that feels like and create with it, right? Use your creativity and right your intuitive divine feminine and your masculine intellect and play with, right, your soul. That's what I was saying about being sarcastic and like what have you. Like the Lord is an archon, and the archons, believe it or not, they are extremely sensitive, and they're extremely also could be like grace like Java the Hutt. But they're super emotional and sensitive beings, so they love like things a lot or get very upset, like right, you're really and like then really right again set up set. Heaven is up and then set. And set up Osiris, right? Kind of, right? So there's a lot of many names. Getting upset with me. It's okay if you do. I mean, what am I gonna do? I'm the one talking, so it's coming through me, this frequency. But again, like I say, take what resonates and leave the rest. Let it just be like, don't be offended, like a fart or right, bad breath. Just let it get away and like, yeah, woof, and like, yeah, you can't attack it. Dogs do though. All right. So okay, also I just wanted to, yeah, the Hierophant and wait, Four of Swords. So this is kind of like Sleeping Beauty or Snow White and etc. So again, like right, the Sleeping Princess. And this reminded me of White Buffalo Calf Woman when I pull this card, the Hierophant. Which if you're not familiar with White Buffalo Calf Women, might be a very cool thing to look up. This is where we get into our native roots, native wisdom, again, before religion, right? Which again, no, different things necessary for different right times and right everything has its time, its season, its cycle, its purpose, its etc. So it's loving that and accepting that and just right with like freaking awesome. Just like when you go to a next grade in school or you move to another school or another town or go, or we're gonna start something new. We all feel scary, like go to the gym. It's like I don't know, whether we're fat or thin, we're like, I don't know. We say, I don't know if everybody feels like that. I do. I still second guess and like I get like, right? Like great uncomfortable feelings. But then once we usually get through that uncomfortable feeling and move through it, we usually have fun and right end up discovering something else about ourselves that we didn't know before, or right, or we meet somebody or right something. So always something, we learn something, right there, right? We learn that we didn't have to be so scared. Maybe it's a lesson like that. We got to learn how to not be, right, again, get through that feeling of not feeling confident and comfortable, which none of us do. I mean, if you talk to Beyonce, she's made songs about that too, right? It's like, and look how gorgeous she is. I don't always feel comfortable just because other people call you pretty or see what they're looking at on the outside isn't how somebody feels, right, on the inside. What they have to go through in their life and in their emotional body, spiritually, mentally, right? Mentally, and what they're having to put up with and hold up, right? Endure, put a smile on, and look the part, right? Eventually, it gets like it's like you want to scream and run out of your own skin. So, and then we have the Fool and Four of Pentacles. So this is like, again, these cards came out earlier. I wanted to share because this is like on the lower level. On the lower level, it's just two different dimensions, parallels, right? The two different. That's how they came out talking to me. So however it resonates for you can be different, and that's cool. So but yeah, it's like right, putting others to sleep, messing with the crown, right? Acting like magicians and stuff, but right, this isn't this is right the manga deck. So the other Hierophant cards and what have you, is usually a man. Right, so these are a little going back to origin. So those that have been messing around trying to keep right beauty asleep, so to speak, and using right Shakti, sexual energy, Aphrodite, love as a weapon, etc. Mirrors, flashes, right, reflections, distractions, etc. Like we were saying before. Fools, and they're holding on to right coins. It's like did it for the money because I needed the money. It's more important to me. I don't care. And then when we first, shuffled, we got Last Judgment. So this is after I pulled that after these came out. I'm just gonna pull one more card from the Thoth deck and maybe one from the Starman Tarot. And then I gotta take off and go. And I so appreciate you coming and hanging out and spending time and energy here with me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got truths, all that science. Oh, Mr. Crowley. It's like, that's like, again, like everybody coming to the galactic center. It's like, getting sucked into the center. Here looking at you, kid. All right. Prince of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. So again, very emotionally immature, and it's 505, lots of fives. So yeah, emotional immaturity, but learning and okay, maybe being guided by spirit. Yeah, spirit's about to take them masculine boys for a ride and show them who they really are inside. Because they really are princes and kings and all that stuff. But some of them are a little right too peacocky. And some of them really aren't. Some of them, again, that just is the impression or looks that way because there's been a lot of abuse or harm and they're very afraid, scared, right? Scared little boy inside. So it can come out like, right? Again, that's why don't judge a book always by its cover. Just because, right, something looks and appears a certain way doesn't mean that that's how they really feel or what's really going on underneath, right? Beneath the remains, underneath the surface of things, underneath the skin. I got Empress underneath that. Super good energy. And oh, this is way too much that flopped out here. And under that is reverse Prince of Swords. That's why I say, right? All that fighting, it's like there's just, it's like, when somebody and you do the forehead thing, and then when they're smaller and they keep swinging, and it's like, right? So we're just gonna give you a timeout because you're a little out of character right now, right? And like fighting your way through and acting a fool and swinging your sword, among other things, right? Like, yeah, mamas taught you better than that. They said, oh boy, they said mamas taught you better than to act like little fucking whores. Yeah, I don't know who that's for. There's a lot that's for. All right, truce. See, it's like I try to hesitate, and spirit's like, nope, say it. I'm like, oh, it's coming. Science. Here comes the shit. Oh boy, it's like the landslide. Or like, what's it? Gustus glute. I was like, that ain't chocolate. I think there may have been a sewage main break somewhere in the line there. Oh Lord, what? Okay, so we have science, truce, pleasure in reverse, Queen of Swords is like, yeah, pleasures of the flesh, etc. Because again, it's like there's, but when people use difference, right? So they're Queen of Sword in that shit. It's about acknowledging stuff because it's like everybody deserves, right? Like if you read the notes on, music notes, it's like, right, every good boy deserves fudge on the lines, right? E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy deserves fudge. And if you go in between the spaces, the whole notes, it spells face, F-A-C-E. Right? So there's lots of different ways we can read, right? If we're a coder, computer, right? Do you code? You know, that's a completely different language, right? Japanese, Chinese, I'm not sure what other Asian, right, language gets written in a up and a down, right, from up to down, as the energy flows this way. Like, right, remember like in Mortal Kombat, Raiden, right? It's like ching, 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 ching. He comes down like lightning. He lightning, right? The lightning, but that he was born of the lightning, Raiden, right? Like The Witcher or whatever. So we got Prince of Wands, Hierophant again. They gave me a big pile here. Oh, Prince of Wands and Hierophant. See, there's a dirty deal going on between a Hierophant and a Prince of Wands. Yeah, that's a known fact. It's a failure. 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 Victory. Lovers. And Ace of Wands in reverse. Which is actually kind of nice because it's not such an aggressive. It's like, right, it's like this is here and happening. This is what it's saying to me right now. But it's not, oh, and two, they're showing the Kundalini, the triple strand DNA. That's what it's saying right now to me, real quick, as I just briefly glanced at it. I didn't even, the cards, they always, pictures say 1,000 words and they always mean something different, right? Energy never lies, people do. A lot of time we don't mean to. We just feel uncomfortable and we haven't the tools and the ability to verbalize or not, or right, learn how to just balance all that shit out. So we're all a work in process. We're all going through the shit, and the shit literally hit the fan. And I wrote that in the in the description. And you know, literally, it's like, oh, I gotta get, right, we gotta be careful what we, because manifestation happens very quickly. And it's not always going to happen how we think it's going to happen. But there's a lot of funny jokes going on with, right, the shit. Right? Most are wearing masks to deal with it. Plumbers would appreciate. Right? A mask can't contain or protect you any less than your pants can protect your fart from seeping out and having somebody else smell it if it happens to smell. I'm sorry if that's a dirty conversation as well. Sorry. And they wouldn't smell so bad if you ate better. Methane, swamp gas from Uranus. Everybody got it. Wouldn't you like to be an asshole too? All right, I am gonna go because now they got me being just crazy. Science on the bottom again. So this is important because yeah, metaphysics, astrophysics, cosmology, getting into the origin and roots of our nature, and right, cleaning the slate and letting go of what we need to let go of, right? Cutting off fat, trimming the fat, and allowing, right, a new set of tools to come in, right? Just like that. And it will. You just have to say it so, right? It's like you program you. So you have to make, right? Same if like you choose to, right, visit here, you choose what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna watch on TV, if you are or not, what you're gonna watch on YouTube, if you're gonna have a TV, it's right, whatever, however. Excuse me, free will. We also got Knight of Discs. This is always my Pluto card. Or Hades. And see, it's like she's holding, it's a sound frequency device. And then we got upside down art card, which is like alchemy. Again, lots of motherfuckers trying to act like they're alchemists and magicians and wizards and warlocks and what have you, but it's like the mad scientist, which, yeah, I don't know, but yeah. upside down art. This is right inside job. Being a master twin flame alchemist is a lot, right? Again, yeah, balancing the Mars and the Mercury, right? Like the diluted parts of self, or the, which again, nothing bad. We're all just at different stages and levels. It's like a baby ain't ready to be born till it's ready to be born. And if it's born prematurely, it's missing certain things still that it needs to, right, really truly hope, strive in the outer atmosphere of the mother's body. So it usually then needs to be put right in an incubator, or given, sometimes special light. The liver isn't formed, so then they need light, right? Because they could be like yellowy, like Kermit the Frog green, and have like jaundice and things. Lots of different things. Lots of organs could be underdeveloped, right? So there's lots of different things could happen, right? 515. If something is woken or poked or taken from its environment, again, uprooting a plant or taking something from its natural source or place of origin without, as part of the garden story. Princess of Wands and Princess of Discs. So that's the feminine energy coming through. Lyra, Arcturian, like I said before, Blue Avian. And before with the Blue Avian, I got a lot of stuff about the Palladian and the Blue Avian. A lot of Palladians mimicking Blue Avians, or dressing up looking like such, calling self. I don't know what the fuck they're. There's a lot of different twisties with the. Oh, and then, okay, originally there was another race species, the plebeians. The plebeians, different than the Palladians, the Pleiadians, right, Pleiades. Um, I don't know. I can't quite. There's show. I can't. Arcturus, Blue Avians, Lyra, Pleiades. That's what they're showing me, like star system wise. And the star. Orion. And the Orion connected, yeah, Sirius, Pleiades. Oh, kind of like, all right, wait, they're showing me like Gulliver's Travels, like if they're like lassoing. Oh, because they want to. As I said before, yeah, like poking a dragon or awakening a fucking hibernating bear. Or like, didn't they take, they said they killed some like great big, huge red-headed giant somewhere in the military, like a year or two ago. Not that long ago. And they brought the story out. I'm not mistaken. My time was fucking way different than so, but where was that? In a cave. And I'm not just like, this was a legit, like, most are, as far as like there's always partial truth. Um, the stuff that seems unbelievable is probably more true than the stuff that's right, like, sugar coated, like, oh, everything gonna be okay. Like, right, everything isn't be okay, but like just the way that like people use, again, a game of Monopoly. They in it to win it. So they have a different, right? They're coming a little from a different, so just know that, it doesn't mean like then you got to be like, like, don't be a patriot and be like great. It's like only, again, discernment, have a little compassion, have a little love, allow some time and space for things to breathe and move and expand. Can't force a baby to enter this land, right? Again, baby gonna come when baby ready to come. 519, ancestral blood cleaning time. So on that note, be on time for you, be present in your now moments so you know what to do, and just keep swimming and you'll make it through. That's not an important one. Yeah, Love you, Soul Tribe, and I'll see you next time. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out. One love to you.